right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. We're going to do a magazine tonight. This is a really good one. This was a recent find that I had in one of my cabinets downstairs, and it's BMX Action September 1983. So I was really stoked because one, it's an old magazine, but two, I don't have a lot of magazines left over from 1983. I want to apologize in advance because the condition of the magazine, as you can see, it's not the greatest. There is obviously some things cut out of it and torn out of it, but we're going to do the best we can. Like I said, a lot of my magazines. Remember, I was a kid when I had them, so I was taking pictures out of them, and sometimes they just weren't taken the best care of. And this is a good example of that. But this is a great magazine. On the cover of this magazine, Stu Thompson's on it. It's factory red line. I'll add it right here as always. It's a really cool cover. It's kind of a blurred picture on purpose to represent the speed. And he was at the ESPN Miami race. And again, that's a great series, which I've covered many times and probably will continue to cover as I do more race videos, shorts, and magazine reviews. And incidentally, the shorts have been very fun for me because I get to go back and revisit all the all the videos that I've done previously. And I notice when I go back through them, I go, wow, I forgot about this footage. So I've been making shorts out of it. So it's been really cool. Let's get into it though. All right, so the initial page, as you can see, there's no cover. It looks like I might even be missing a page because there's no table of contents in here. But this is the Huffy Pro Lightning that was available in 1983. So this is a 100% store-bought bike. And we were talking about this bike in the podcast just the other day. I used this as a question for one of the trivia questions. And I said, what number plate came on the Huffy Pro Lightning? And it's a 09, as you can see. So it comes with an actual 09 number plate. But in reality, if you look at the size of the number plate, it's actually much smaller than what you would have got if you would have went into a bike shop and bought the number plate yourself. This is kind of just a smaller version of the actual 09 plate, even though it is a legit 09 product, which I never noticed that until I revisited the magazine. And here's the funny thing. Now, if you buy a 09 number plate, it's probably going to be about that size. All right, let's keep going. Couple key things about this bike before I start skipping around. It's replicating what an Araya 7X wheel would look like, especially with the chrome side, with the stainless side here, so that you don't have any brake rub on your anodized wheels. These look like they're just steel wheels. They're not aluminum race wheels that we would have been used to. It's simulating a redline sprocket right here, which is kind of cool. It's got the one-piece cranks, and it's also simulating what a Cashmax seat would look like. It looks like it has Amy grips on it, Diacomp brakes, from what I can tell from this photo. It does indicate that it's a chrome moly frame, which I thought was kind of cool because most of the bikes that you would pick up from a department store absolutely were not chrome moly. They were mild steel, but that's pretty cool. Pretty good bike for what it was. All right, let's keep moving on. This is a great number plate here. So this is the Haro Tech number plate. And again, you can't use the sticker back adhesive sticker numbers on here because they'll just peel off once they get really dirty. We talked about that before. But I like this number plate. I like the flow of that number plate. It's really cool. And it's funny because, guys, when I look at magazine photos and things and everybody's running the standard number plates, they don't look big to me. But if you see somebody put one on their bike now, it looks gigantic. It looks like a billboard because now we're so used to those small number plates. This is a great ad for Diamondback. Now, we talked about this previously. Diamondback went way out of their way to make sure their advertising was over the top. And this is a great example of what Diamondback was doing. Here's the Turbo Light kit. Harry Larry over here, and that's where the Turbo Light kit name came from. He's on a Harry Larry Turbo. This is very cool, and this is an awesome team lineup that you're seeing right here. Awesome. All right, let's keep moving. All right, we got American Pride Carlisle Aggressors, and this is a really cool looking tire. I had tires similar to this on one of my early race bikes, But I want to say that the tires were made by Diamondback, if I can. I'm thinking way back, guys, all the way back to '82. But it had this sort of look to it, and that's what I kind of remember. And I had forks similar to that as well at the time. So it's kind of cool to see something like that. Let's keep going. You can see I got a torn out page here. We got some Deer Whiz here. Writer Al Mock. Photographer was Scott Golmet. Location St. Clair Shores, Michigan. That's a dope shot. I like it. Get a close look at that. He's above the coping here in a pool. And it's really, really cool. Love the jacket, by the way. It's really, really cool. And it says here, the unknown people, Dear Whiz. We, the unknown people, think you should let us send in our pictures and get them printed in BMXA. There's a lot of rad people out here in the world, and we deserve a chance. If you don't believe it, try us. Like, have you ever seen someone use a tree for a quarter pipe? Please let us know, or please let us show you how rad we can get. The unknown people somewhere in Wisconsin is all he put there. And that's pretty cool. And you know, to give BMX Action credit, I mean, here you go. You got a photo of a rider, and I'm not going to say unknown, but he wasn't in the magazine, so you got a little bit of credit. Look at this. This is a horrible job. Whatever picture was here, somebody cut it out. Could have been me. This is my magazine, so it could have been me. We got Steplight, Griggs, Calso, and more, all factory CW, unbeatable. Great ad from CW. I would have liked to see the race photos a little bit bigger and bring the names down a little bit. But other than that, this is a great, great ad. And I really, really love the colors of CW Racing from back in the day. If you guys take a look at that, those colors were dope. That yellow, orange, and black, I love it. I thought it was a really, really cool color combination and very easy to identify. Oh, look at that. Grab-on grips were still a thing. Now remember, this is 1983, so I was using grab-on grips in 81, 82, but as I got into 83, I definitely was running Amy's at that point, but these are really, really comfortable and cool-looking grips. They're showpiece grips if you're building something for show, but as far as use, these things would just fall apart pretty easy, but they were super comfortable. Let's read another Dear Whiz here. Dear Whiz, you say RL and Buff drive like straight arrows on the street. What about you when you get behind the wheel of your Porsche? And that was by Bobby Phipps from Charleston, South Carolina. Let's see what he says. Neither wild horses, nor threats of physical violence, nor one of Rosa's killer tacos could make me take that car which sticks like glue in the corners, accelerates like a striped ape, and sounds so bitchin' when it's winding out over the speed limit. Well, possibly a taco, but only a little over, like about a double. That's pretty cool. A lot of those guys were driving Porsches back then, man. I'm going to tell you guys, in 1983 through 1986, I fell in love with the look of a Porsche 944, man. I loved it. Also loved the Porsche 928, and that's reminiscent of the movie Risky Business. His dad had the 928 that fell into the lake. So anyway, I love those cars. All right, let's keep on moving. Oh wait, let's read one more, guys. Let's read one more. I like reading these. Burned out. Dear Whiz, mega bummer. Lately, I've been getting a little burned out on BMX. I sort of overkilled it. For the last 3 years, I have literally lived BMX, and now I'm getting tired of it. But just as I'm about to give up racing, I look at an old issue of BMX Action, and I start thinking about the racers who started out not so fast like me and rocketed up to pro. And I think about eventually having a face in BMXA. It gives me something to work for. It's a lofty goal, but when I stop DNFing, maybe I'll pull it off. In short, BMXA inspires me, pumps me up, and gives me reason to keep roosting. Thanks megatons. And that was from Kyle Aquastaspace out of Santa Barbara, California. And it says here, hey Kyle, letters like yours pump us up and give us a reason to keep putting a maximum effort into each issue of Action. Thanks yourself, Oz. That's a great letter. I love it. That's a really, really cool letter. Cool ad from Toughneck here. I had this power disc in this color, And then eventually I got the silver one, so I went through two of these. I had this Pro Neck in chrome, and that's about it, Pro Neck style. I definitely had the seat post clamps, so definitely I used a lot of Pro Neck products. I love the power discs, by the way. And I used power discs, so I was pretty much on one-piece cranks forever until I finally switched to profiles, and I ran power discs with all my one-piece cranks. RL versus Stu on the Carrera 2. This is a sweet, sweet bike. Look at the red line flights on there. Sun Tour Bear Trap pedals. Comp 3 tires. Cashamax seat. The red line V-line bars that were signature edition from Stu Thompson. And it looks like it has uni hand grenade grips on there. Love it. This bike is sick. I'm not a huge fan of the V-line bars, although I have ridden some, and I have some of these handlebars hanging in my garage, by the way. So that's a really, really cool setup. And this is a top-of-the-line bike. So, I don't know what this costs. I'm going to say this is in the $500 range, especially because of the crank setup on there. But this is a high-quality bike for the time. Love it. Let's keep going. Check out Eddie King in this picture, guys. It says Eddie back when he was a little pup. And then Pete, how does such a skinny guy go so fast? It's funny because you see Pete in this photo. Pete's really lean again, by the way. But when you see him in this photo and you think about what's to come, about 2 years later, he completely transforms. 2 to 3 years later, he becomes this massive man and he starts dominating, but that's a big difference. Oh, look at the California Light chrome pads on the Diamondback Silver Streak here. That's a pretty good combination. You got to love that. Bullseye hubs. This is really cool. We got Mike Miranda. Mike Miranda picked up more than first place prize money when he won A Pro class at the ABA Fremont National. Roger Worsham, CW's boss man, promised Mike a set of centerline wheels for Mike's new Camaro. If he won, you know who was sitting out in front of CW the next morning waiting for Roger to get there. I asked Mike about these. I mentioned that to him in an interview on the BMX Experts podcast. That's really, really cool. I've seen these before. I don't really have much to say about Superline grips. I don't really remember them. And then, oh, wow, look at this. BMX Bionics. It's Polson's BMX version of Steve Austin. It's got some sort of brace on his ankle right here. Check it out. This is part of Mike Polson's leg brace, which he had to wear while racing since he broke his leg riding a mini bike over a year ago. Talk about a great ankle guard. That's really trippy. That's cool. Look at the stud. These are little studs that go on your knobby tires. Oh man, make them eat dirt with studded tires. Studs give you the maximum traction on ice, snow, mud, dirt. The stud package is available from Stud Incorporated. Easy to install, fits any tire. Yeah, I've never seen anybody actually use those, but it's a unique stab at something new. Let's put it that way. And it looks like I cut out the picture of Bobby Woods, I think is was right here. And here we go. We got the Mongoose Expert for only $174.95. That's a steal, man. Less than $200 and you're on a Mongoose. You know what I mean? So here's another example of things I've mentioned before. Why go buy a $100 Huffy for less than $100 more? You're jumping on a legit Mongoose. And with a few hopped up parts, this bike is super legit. Although it's kind of short, but for the time it was awesome. Okay, let's keep moving. Here we go. All right, my favorite stuff, guys. Round 1 Miami. Now, I have reviewed this race on my channel. I can't express to you guys how much I love the ESPN series. And here's all your heroes just battling it out. And it not only on the magazines, but they were jumping off the screen in your televisions in the living room. Just amazing. You got Stu Thompson, Brian Patterson, Greg Grubbs. I think that's Scott Clark back there based on that green visor. We got Brent Patterson, Toby Henderson, Eric Roop, and Anthony Sewell. Awesome. I didn't even have to read any of the captions. I just know who these guys are. That's what BMX was all about, man. You could just glance at it and know who everybody was. This is an NBL ESPN Pro Series race. Amazing. This photo is just great. Great, great, great. I'll use this photo when I create the intro for this video tonight. But that is sincerely awesome, guys. I love it. Okay, let's move to the next page. All right, Greg answers to the killer heat and non-existent shade. Hill bailed in the first semi, landing on his Memphis knee. He didn't injure it further, but decided to sit out the rest of the day anyway. And in this photo, guys, this probably doesn't mean much to you guys, but he's sitting in the back of a Buick Regal, which I can only assume was his rental car. My mother had this car, and we went to a lot of races with this car. So when I saw it, it sparked a lot of memories, man. Mom went way out of her way to get me to races. And the trunk was big enough that my bike would fit in there. I would have to take the front wheel off, and then I could lay the bike down on the trunk and just put the wheel on top of it. And that's all we needed. I didn't use a bike rack at all back when Mom would take me to races in this car. Just a great memory. Great memory. All right, we got a good shot of Eddie King here. It says, some guys fade when they go pro, some fly. Eddie flies. He was getting killer hole shots on those guys all day, but a crash in the semis took him out. If he can hold his psyche, the King will rule soon. Is this guy built or what? Yeah, man, Eddie King was pretty ripped. Take a look at this. This is his rookie year, by the way. And Eddie was a smaller rider, but it didn't seem to matter much. He could totally bang bars with all the heavies. We got a good shot of Mike Miranda and Stu Thompson right here. It says, oceans of Gatorade were consumed in defense of the steamy heat and the unusual number of motos, semis, and mains. This is Miranda and Stu right after a sweaty moto, and you thought the pros were hand-fed grapes by dancing girls in air-conditioned motorhomes between motos. That's a great shot. Look at that. And it's like reality, man. They're out there in the pits like everybody else, even though they're the pros. That's a great, great shot. All right, what do we got here? Anthony Sewell is leaner and better conditioned than ever before. It showed in Miami. This guy was just incredible. The late, great Anthony Sewell. What does Greg Hill's quote say here? Let's read that. It says here, I've been doing starts and practicing, but it's not the same as when you're on the line with 8 other riders, Greg Hill. Yeah, I couldn't have said that any better than that. Ooh, wow, this is a great shot of Scott and Toby here. It says, Toby, you want to go to my wedding, Scott? Scott, pluck. I throw up when someone even mentions marriage. Scott Clark finished 2nd overall, winning mega bucks. Henderson finished 6th, taking home mini bucks. But that's a great shot of these two guys. That's really, really cool. Look at the young Eric group right here. And this guy is still racing. Gone to every single ABA Grand for I don't know how many years, man. I think he mentioned it on Facebook. It's, I think, over 30. Sorry, guys, I had to take a drink of water. It says, ever since Eric Group signed with Profile, you can't believe how fast he's going. He could have won Miami. Maybe should have, but inconsistency in the mains pushed him back to 4th. Some days you bite the bear, some days the bear bites you. That's pretty cool. Stu Thompson quote, come on, muscle power, energize me. Stu Thompson. Here's a Toby Henderson quote. The ESPN coverage is enhancing the prestige and quality of the racing. I think everyone's going faster than normal. And it's got to be true, man, because if you know everybody's watching at home, it's a big deal. ESPN Series points tabulation, first race through Miami. Let's see, rider and finish places. Brian Patterson picked up 80 points. Scott Clark with the 2nd, picked up 70. Then we had Greg Grubbs, Eric Roop, Brent Patterson, Toby Henderson, Anthony Stool, and Stu Thompson picking up the 8th. Pretty cool. Oh, here's a great shot of Harry Larry. Harry, I read that squinting uses energy. A wet towel and Varnays kept the turbo cool both ways. Big bites in the semis, 86 to Larry from the mains, and this is a classic shot of Harry with the wet towel on his head and the factory Diamondback colors. And the Varnays, let's go, Harry. Varnays were the stuff. Greg Grubbs quote, let's read that one. I've got a new attitude, relax and win, Greg Grubbs. Great attitude, great attitude. We got some SNR cranks here. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. We built the number one machine from the grid up, and this is the GT Pro model for 1983. I'm looking at this bike and thinking to myself, as a kid, I would have not changed anything. I would have bought this bike and raced it as is. It's perfect. As you know, as you get better, you might upgrade the cranks, maybe get a longer stem. But other than that, awesome. And imagine what this pad set's worth, guys. Not to mention the frame and fork, if it was in good conditions, worth a lot of money, guys. A lot of money. Great, great bike. Love it. And this is the number one bicycle from 1982 Nora Cup. That's crazy. All right, let's keep going. Shinko tires. And here we go. We got the Schwinn Predator, which was probably one of the most recognizable bikes of the early 80s, because a lot of neighborhood kids were riding these bikes because they weren't really that expensive. But a good quality bike nonetheless, and that's the Schwinn Predator. Pretty cool. Let's keep moving. We're moving right along, guys. I'm a little bit rusty on the magazines. Oh, what do we got here? The more or less 4th annual word contest of Mighty BMXA. Oh, and these are all the slang words that we used, and they gave away some great prizes. You can get a Kuwahara here. Kuwahara Supreme Unit, the laser light, complete with oversized top and down tube frames, Sun Tour pedals and hubs, Redline 400 series flight cranks, and much more trickness. That is really cool. Or second place, JT gear package to improve your racing image. So you get the whole JT kit right here. These are some of the best pants ever, man. I think the fitment of these race pants and the look of them is timeless. I think it's really, really cool. In the new stuff, you can still get JT racing stuff. You really can, but it's very kind of baggy and loose. It doesn't have the same fitment as you would have got back then, and that's something that I think JT should shoot for again, is to get that fitment. Just like, fly racing, everything's fitted. Great shot here of Mickey Lundy getting the flatty on Race Incorporated. That's a great, great shot. We got a great Cycle Pro ad here for the Snake Belly tire. This is great. If you look at it, the underbelly of the snake has actually got the tread of the tire on there, hence the snake belly. Great ad. You got to love that, man. I had a set of snake bellies. I went through several sets of knockoff snake bellies. I don't think I ever really had the real ones. I think I just had a bunch of knockoffs, and I even, when Kevin's going to hate me for saying this, but I ran a lot of blue tires that were snake bellies. Sorry, Kevin. All right, let's keep going. The Diamondback Turbo Light Transit System. Wow, this is a pretty cool setup. The Turbo Light system is 17 pounds, 6 ounces of mega trick components. It would be easy to dial it down to 14 to 15 pounds. Holy smokes. That is a complete race bike for the kiddos, and it doesn't get much better than that from Diamondback. That is a pretty sick setup. I love the cranks, by the way. All right, let's keep going. Team Cycle. This is the kind of stuff you would find in like Gemco and things like that. Not that horrible. I mean, I had that helmet, for example. And most of these parts, even though they're Team Cycle, they were decent. And a lot of them were decent. Definitely if you were like at the beginning stages of your BMX career. We got the Laser 3000. This is a pretty cool ad. I love the Bell helmet, by the way. And then the Zap Pads. Full page ad with Greg Hill doing the Zap Pad ad. I had these Zap Pads, which I've mentioned before, with the blue lightning bolt, and I got them because of this guy. I thought it was the coolest pad ever. They just they didn't last very long. I mean, I think I had mentioned before that the chrome starts. It has a clear like a clear coat that goes over the top, and that clear coat starts to break down. The pad starts to turn yellow, so it kind of lost its luster after a while. But when I first got them, I was one of the only guys that had Zap Pads at the track. I noticed, like, oh man, no one's running Zap Pads, so I thought I was kind of cool. All right, let's keep on going. Oh, look at the Hyper Frame and Fork, Billy Farrell. That must be Billy right there getting busy. That's a great frame and fork setup. Looks a little reminiscent of the Torker, but check it out, guys. It's 1983 and it has a route for the cable, just like the modern race bikes do now. So Hyper was kind of ahead of its time. Most everybody else, you had to kind of like zip tie your I used either Velcro straps or zip ties, and I would strap the cable to the frame, and or you just simply tuck it inside your frame pad. So with that, in this case, you just didn't need it because you had the cable guide right there. That's really really cool, by the way. Here we go. We got when this guy gets rad, he needs dependable forks. Take it from Tim Judge. Be fast, trick, and neat. Stay with Hutch. You can't be beat. Tim TJ Judge, world champion. This is a great shot of Tim Judge right here. Factory Hutch. It's a great, great shot. It looks like typewriter font. That's really, really cool. Oh, I'm missing part of this. This is Mike Buff performing. It looks like a 360, but I'm missing part of it here. It's definitely a victim of me taking magazines apart. Bakersfield, the Torker NBL War of the Stars. This is awesome. Whoa, look at Gary Ellis and Mike Polson. This is a great shot here. Polson pulled up slightly hard for this speed jump and had to ride his front and back down. Ellis was technically flawless over the jump, but Polson had drawn the inside line to the first turn and could afford one very slight mistake. It was the only mistake he made. At the level of amateur competition, the winner is often decided by the luck of the draw for starting positions. Because in other words, these guys were so evenly matched. Whoever had the better lane was probably going to do a little bit better. But look at the dirt paws that Gary's wearing. Those are really, really trick. Those are old school right there. Love it. And of course, you got Mike. He was the poster boy for Schwinn, absolutely. Bubba blazed in Bakersfield, first and 15 expert. Bubba Hayes, I love this one guy that made me want to ride a PK Ripper, just because he made it look so cool. And I just finished building a PK Ripper. Bubba blazed in Bakersfield, first and 15 expert, and he's running the 1 3/8 wheels on that PK Ripper. Super trick. We got Dee Leone getting down into Biz. An 18 to 24 cruiser in code 3 pursuit is Timmy Judge. And that's the way they finished. We got Britt Audi here with Supreme, and he suffocated the 17 expert main. So that's really, really cool. Let's keep on going. Oh man, these are such good race shots, guys. I'm taking a long time tonight. Sorry about that. Richie Anderson is suddenly an animal. First in 16 to 17 cruisers. Second was Dave Koch, number 121, which he's right there. Sorry about that, guys. And then we got this great shot here. Crown the Earthquake King for the day. Clarence Perry, number 42, outpowered everybody in the Senior Pro Money Main. Back at home in Washington, Clarence works crowd control at the Kingdome. Yep, it figures. This dude is really, really big, by the way. Look at this shot, Factory CW. Damn, he makes the bike look really small because he's so big. Love the way he's wrapping that 09 number plate, though. That's the way you do it, over the bars. That looks really, really cool. Wow, look at the little dudes. It says, when you talk high tech, you're talking the Dinky Dudes bikes. There's not a bike in this photo that costs under $1,000. This is not a case of overindulgent parents. These little guys are serious. Left to right, Gary DeBacker. It looks like he's on Factory JMC. Chicken George Sievers, Factory Redline. And Jason Palamies, looks like he was Factory CW. And man, they're saying these things were about $1,000 each, and that was in 1983, guys. Very, very cool. What do we got going on here? Chalk up a double for 11-year-old Brent Romero, number 35. This dude is bad to the bone. Of course, old Moten. There ain't exactly a slouch. This is a great shot. Look at this. Wow. You gotta love that. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, let's keep on going. These are great race shots, man. I picked a great magazine tonight. And this is the overall view of the track. It looks like Greg Hill right here. Honestly, it's hard to tell because they're so tiny, but take a look at that. Yeah, I can see Greg Hill. It looks like it's possibly Harry Larry. There's a Skyway rider right there. Could be David, though. And or Bob Madrano. I think that's Stu Thompson there. Wow, this is really, somebody fell. That's a really, really cool shot. And this is in Bakersfield, California, man. Bakersfield's probably a good 3 hours from me. It's a pretty good distance. Possibly 3.5. We got some Sagino cranks here. The Terry cable. More Bakersfield results. As far as the results for pro, Clarence Perry won. Eric Roop with the second. Stu Thompson, Brian Patterson, Kenny Notchman, Bob Madrano, Mike Miranda, Donnie Atherton wraps up A Pro. For Pro Cruiser, Brent Patterson, one Pro Cruiser, Frank Post, Anthony Sewell, Clarence Perry, Tinker Juarez, Turnell Henry, and Mickey Lundy, followed by Toby Henderson. Wow, a lot of superstars in Pro Cruiser. And then for Pro Trophy, which I'm assuming is the Open, Brian Patterson got that one with Greg Hill and Steve Schobert. B Pro was won by Pete Lonkarovich, Rob Fade, and Andy Patterson. That is freaking awesome. 17 Expert, listen to this though. Mike Polson, Gary Ellis, and Rich Farsides, all studs. 16 Expert was Mike Solito got the win, Factory Skyway. Kevin White, and then Jeff Putney. That's pretty awesome. As we know, Bubba Hayes picked up the 15 Expert win. That's really awesome. All right, let's keep on going. This is a cool bike. Looks like a Skyway almost. Good shot of Sean Texas and Stu Thompson right here. This is a great one. These guys are massive, dude. And Stu's still in great shape. So Sean. The built dude on the right is Sean Texas. He finished 6th or 7th in the junior pro class, but who's that wimp on the left? They're talking about Stu. Great ad with Vans here. Love it. He's got sparklers taped to his Vans and to the forks there. That's pretty. Do not try this at home, guys. You will only burn yourself. Whoa, look at this Timmy Judge shot. How awesome is this? Oz, what's your best line for meeting girls? Tim says, I give him a sticker. Here's a Hutch Tim Judge sticker. Check it out. I've got a lot more. You want to go out? That's really cool, man. When I move to California, I'm going to load the Hutches, my Levi's and shorts, grab the Varnays, pop in a tape, and go. That's great. Look at the Varnays he's rocking. And see, guys, how it has the string coming off the sides of the glasses. I used to do that too in high school, and then you could wear them around your neck. Well, I was probably in middle school when this came out, but I was still rocking those sunglasses. I'm the type of kid that always, an adult that always wears sunglasses. And this is an epic shot of Tim right here. So this shot will definitely be in my intro. But it looks like he's rocking a cruiser right there. That's a great, great shot. Tim's such a stylish rider. Let's keep going. Oh, and here we go. How to do a judge. So this was the big controversy, if I remember, because people were saying, well, that's not a judge, that's a Leary, and there was a big argument. And I think what ended up happening is Tim developed a whole other sort of jump. I think it was a one-footed tabletop, and then they named that the judge because they were like, this is the judge. No, it's a Leary. Who did it first? I don't think that controversy ever got squashed. But that's a great shot. Look at that. That's basically the jump that Larry would do. And Tim. Such a great shot. All right, let's keep on going. Oh, here we go. We got the Kuwahara ad, reminiscent of Tron, because Tron came out in, I want to say in 1982, so this fits the bill. And funny thing is, guys, my daughter's 21, and earlier this year, she loves Tron Legacy, so the second Tron movie, loved it. And I said, hey, before we go see the newest Tron movie, which I haven't seen, by the way, yet, guys, I don't know. Movies just don't stay in theaters long enough these days. But before we see the third Tron movie, you have to watch the original Tron movie. And so we watched the original Tron movie, and I warned her, okay, the special effects aren't so special, so you got to wrap your mind around that. But she loved it. And not only did she love it, she was able to tell me things about the characters in the movie because she had watched Tron Legacy so much. But anyway, I got off track. This is a great ad from Kuwahara. The JT ad that we've seen a million times is a great ad. And oh, this is such a cool shot with Buff and RL, the Mongoose California Expert and Mini Goose. Looks like they were testing it. But look at that. Front wheel endos, tapping rear tires, and check out the Levi 501s. Guys, I still dress like this. T-shirts and 501s or Levi's. Yeah, I usually wear 511s now, but this is I dressed like this in high school. I dress like this now. It's actually kind of funny when I think about it. All right, let's keep going. Oh, these are great. Great shot of RL on the aboard the California. Look at that. That's freaking awesome. It says, this is RL aboard the California. After changing to wider bars, a stem with more offset, and a laid-back seat post, the bike was still too small for him. Realistically, 14 or 15 years old is about the upper age limit for the expert in California. I get it, because he's a little bit tall. You can see his knees are really close to the bars. And this looks like his personal handlebars and number plate off of his bike. And that's definitely his seat. I recognize it. So they put it on here to give him a little bit more space. And apparently it just still wasn't enough. But it was not enough to stop him from getting rad, though. Look at that. That's really, really cool. Tosh Marav, getting down to biz. All three gooses were totally predictable in all handling situations and were so confidence expiring that they encourage tactics like the square off berm attack. That's really cool. Love the seat with the mongoose in the back, the Cashamax seat. That's dope. Love it. Okay, let's keep going on. We're nearing the end, guys. Here's the breakdown for the mongooses that they reviewed: the Mini Goose, the Mongoose Expert, and the Mongoose California. And then here's your bikes right here. Mongoose California looks like it was more the top of the line. Well, this is obviously the Mini Goose, but between these two, that's really cool. Great shot here. Wow, this guy's getting busy. And that's Tosh Murav, again, getting busy right there. I have this seat clamp, guys, currently on my Skyway. I have the repop version of that. And it's still super clean. I love it. Pro class wheels are tough to beat. Those things are really super clean. Oh, OP ad, and then the Piranha. I'm missing a whole page of whatever this might have been. The Oakley B1B, great ad. Love this ad. I've commented on this several times. Oakley's superior in their advertisement. It's just amazing. Oh, this is a great ad for Robinson Racing. And then we have Johar takes it to Mike Buff. And then Mike's getting busy right here. Check out his eyes in this photo. That's really freaking cool, man. You got RL here in the insert right here. And this is really, really cool. The Vector ad, I love this one, jumping over the Ferrari. And somebody had told me what this rider's name was, and I totally forgot again. Sorry about that. Oh, the Max ad. Max pants are really, really cool. Look at that. Max was aboard Torker, Race Incorporated, Powerlight, and also CW. Very, very cool. And that's it, guys. The Pro Neck ad is the last one. And we did it. This was BMX Action, September 1983. Took me 37 minutes, guys, almost 38 minutes, but that was great. Sorry, it's been a while since I did a video. I've been focusing on shorts, and man, we've been knocking out podcast videos left and right, but getting a lot of good guests for the podcast. We just did one with Jason Richardson. We had Dale Holmes on. We've got another rider coming up. Alan Foster's coming up next. So we're doing really good. You know, the channel's growing, but I'm really also want to focus a lot on my channel. Please like and subscribe. We're at 972, guys. 972. I need 28 subscribers. So if you guys can hit that like and subscribe button, I really, really appreciate it. We're almost there, almost to 1,000, man. And I'm getting excited. I check it every day, guys. I always look at my stats with with YouTube every single day, and it's fun for me, though. I love it. Okay, guys, we're going to be doing some shorts throughout the week, and then in about next week, I'll be doing a race review video. It's time to do one of those again. As like I said, guys, like and subscribe. I'll see you next week, and have a great one. Happy New Year, by the way, guys.
I got it. At first it was hard. Nobody believed me. Ever since then, I'm making it clear. This my year. This my year. I hustle in the dark with a bright my head. Get the bright idea.